My name is Nicole, and I come from a small town in the south of France. I was 19 when my parents told me they had a big surprise for me. They said it would help me grow and learn English. My mother looked excited, and my father smiled proudly as he said, "You are going to England, my dear." At first, I thought it was a joke. I had never even left France before. I didn't have a passport until that very week, but they were serious. They had found an au pair program through an agency. The agency said I would live with an English family for 1 month, help with their children, get meals, a small room, and practice English every day. My parents loved the idea. They paid the agency a lot of money, but they said education was more important than anything. I was excited too. I dreamed of green fields, red buses, Big Ben and the Queen. I told my friends, when I come back, I will speak English very well. They laughed and said, "Bring us some tea bags." Soon the agency sent me the family's address. Their last name was Patel. I thought it sounded interesting, but I didn't ask many questions. I was too busy imagining London. I packed my small suitcase with clothes, my French-English dictionary, and chocolates for the host family. My parents drove me to the station. My mother cried a little and told me to write. My father hugged me and said, "We are proud of you, Nicole." The trip was long but exciting. Train to Paris, ferry across the sea, bus into the countryside of England. Everything felt new, cold, and beautifully strange. When I reached the house and rang the bell, a smiling woman opened the door. "You must be Nicole," she said warmly. Her English sounded different from movie English, softer, musical. "Yes, I am Nicole," I said slowly. She brought me inside. The smell hit me immediately. Spicy, strong, completely different from French food, but not bad at all. "My name is Mina," she said, "and this is my husband Raj, and our children, Priya and Arjun." They gave me a hot, creamy drink. "This is chai," Mina said proudly. It tasted sweet and spicy. I didn't know tea could have spices. My room was small but clean with a view of the garden. Mina said, "If you need anything, you tell me," and smiled. That evening, the children called me D. I didn't know what it meant then, but I smiled anyway. Later, I learned it meant big sister. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of spicy food. Mina gave me a plate of rice with curry for breakfast. I had never eaten rice in the morning. My eyes watered from the spice, but it was delicious. When I asked to call my parents, Mina said, "No phone here, post office." "No Wi-Fi?" I asked. "No Wi-Fi," she repeated. So I wrote postcards like it was 1950. Every day I walked the children to the park, helped with homework, and learned silly new words. Mina mixed English and Hindi so much that my brain felt like a soup of languages. One day she took me shopping for clothes and put me in a bright pink salwar kameez. When I came out of the changing room, she clapped her hands. "Beautiful! You look Indian now." People on the street smiled at me. Raj said I looked like a Bollywood star. At home, I slowly learned to make chapatis, masala fish, and rice the proper way. Mina called me good girl and told me stories from India, weddings, mango trees, summers hotter than ovens. I didn't understand everything, but I loved her voice. At the market, Mina bought spices with names I couldn't pronounce. She said, "You learn all this, Nicole? Then you can make curry?" I laughed. Maybe one day. I made a Spanish friend named Sophia at the park. She said, "Oswara, you are not learning English. You are learning Indian life." She wasn't wrong. Sundays were Bollywood movie days. Singing, dancing, drama, and bright colors. The children pulled me into their silly dances. Raj joked that soon I would cook better than Mina. One morning, Mina took me to the Hindu temple. I wore my pink outfit again. The temple was peaceful, full of color and flowers. Mina gave me sweet prasad. I followed her hands, her steps, her smile. I felt included in something beautiful. The days passed quickly, too quickly. Raj took us to London for a day so I could finally see real England. Big buildings, red buses, the London Eye, all the things I had dreamed of. But when I ordered fish and chips, I laughed. "It's not spicy," Mina said. "Not everything needs masala." But I missed it already. Soon, my last day arrived. Mina cooked my favorite, masala fish. The children made me a card that said, "We love you, Nicole D." I hugged them tightly. That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought about my first day, how everything felt strange and confusing. Now it felt warm and familiar. I had come to learn English, but I had learned something much bigger. The next morning, they took me to the station. Mina hugged me for a long time and said, "You take care, Nicole." I promised I would. When I reached France, my parents hugged me like I had returned from war. "So," my father said proudly, "now you speak good English?" I laughed. "Well, I learned some English and a lot of Hindi." Their eyes widened. "You went to England to learn English," my mother said, "and lived with an Indian family?" I nodded, smiling. "But it was not a waste." "Not a waste," my father said, "but you didn't learn English." "No," I said, laughing, "but I learned what masala fish is." My parents burst out laughing. "Only you, Nicole," my mother said, "only you would go to England and come back speaking Hindi and craving spicy food." We laughed together, and I felt warm, like I was back in the Patel's kitchen. That night, as I lay in my bed, I whispered, "Thank you," in French and in Hindi, because even if I didn't learn the language I expected, I learned something far more important: how strangers can become family, how kindness travels across countries, and how the world is full of surprises, the good kind. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to English Medium Stories, and stay with us for more classic stories in easy English.